Hey guys, get ready for a whirlwind of updates in today's videos. We're diving deep into the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender with some sizzling new posters, but that's not all. We've got news about the major, and I mean major, changes to the Netflix adaptation. This is not going to be the same story we got from the original show. Will the changes ignite a new era for our favorite characters, or will it be a twist too far? Plus, stick around as we explore some intriguing behind-the-scenes revelations that you definitely don't want to miss. So grab your cabbages and let's dig in. And trust me, you'll want to stay until the end of this for all the information. But as always, let's start with some Avatar news. In our first story, we'll be discussing the TV ratings for the Netflix show. Unlike the original Nickelodeon animated series, the Netflix adaptation takes a slightly grittier turn, mostly due to the fact that it's live action with real people and real violence instead of with animated people with cartoon violence. The original show was rated TV7FV, which stands for a minimum age of 7 years old, mainly due to its handling of thematic elements like mild fantasy action violence, occasional non-sexual depictions of characters in swimwear and underwear, and mild name-calling or insults among characters. The show features moderate action and fight scenes primarily involving elemental magic, with rare instances of blood. Significant character deaths are implied rather than graphically depicted. Furthermore, the series included instances of mild flirting, kissing, but nothing overly passionate or inappropriate for younger audiences. Characters like Azula and Fire Lord Ozai are portrayed as menacing and cruel, adding elements of intensity and mild fright, yet these are balanced with the show's overall themes of adventure, friendship, and moral lessons, making it a fine pick for grade schoolers and above. The adaptation, by contrast, will be rated TV-14. Much like Stranger Things, it targets a more mature audience, offering a fresh, perhaps darker perspective on the beloved tale. I mean, look at this shot. We're basically seeing a man moments before getting burned alive, so it's understandable why the show will be upgraded from TV-7 to TV-14 in the United States. In case you missed it, there was a new reaction video from the cast looking at the latest trailer. This is different from the one that was uploaded on YouTube minutes after the trailer dropped, which only included the main cast. This second reaction video, which you can find in the description box below, features the main cast plus the Fire Nation family. Here's a snippet of some of the reactions.
Come on!
Wow, my stunt double looks great.
I don't want the responsibility.
What more do you need?
Momo.
I mean, come on, how can you not love this cast? There's even a video of Daniel Day Kim going over thirst tweets you gotta watch as well. This one in particular was my favorite.
What elder god did Daniel Day Kim pledge his soul to get such a geometry-defying jawline? I thank my mom and my dad. They're the ones that gave me whatever I have to work with.
And of course, we had the main boys of the cast to do the new bending quiz. And I gotta say, the quiz is much better than the one we got from the official Avatar Studios website. Hopefully, this will help Avatar Studios boost their marketing game. Their quiz feels like something for children, and this new one feels like a quiz for thoughtful young adults. Anyway, here's a highlight from that video as well. You'll be surprised what nation Gordon Cormier gets picked for.
A man with a cabbage cart blocks your way. Do you find another way, or tell him to move?
Again, these are all in the description box below. Netflix is doing the marketing justice for this one. This next story isn't huge. In fact, it's not a story at all, but I'm going to make it into one. Recently, Giancarlo Volpe, a longtime director over on the animated version of The Last Airbender and Legend of Korra, replied to a tweet about the bending showcase from the latest trailer. A user jokingly says that they wonder what the visual effects will look like if they were animated, and Giancarlo jokingly replies, asking if he could work on it. This was a highlight for me because we have not seen a lot of the original crew giving big praise to the adaptation, especially with how the original creators parted ways with Netflix. It even seems like the Braving the Elements official podcast has stayed clear of giving a nod to the adaptation. But we do have reactions from the Toph actress, and now we have one of the directors who worked shoulder to shoulder with the original creators, giving Netflix a wink as well. In our next story, we have some good news coming out of Avatar Studios, one of the few projects of theirs that has actually gotten off the ground. After the amazing sold-out shows in London, New York, and San Francisco, the Last Airbender concert is set to enchant audiences across North America, Europe, and Asian Pacific starting this September. And I'm really hoping they add Los Angeles into the mix. I'm surprised my city wasn't part of the first run. I can only imagine experiencing the score composed by the brilliant Jeremy Zuckerman live with an orchestra in Hollywood Bowl, especially while the favorite moments of the series plays on a giant screen behind him and his crew. What also makes me smile is Zuckerman's own reaction, expressing his amazement at seeing his compositions, some over 20 years old, being brought to life in this epic manner. And guess what? This is all part of the expanded universe created by Avatar Studios, so there's an outside chance we might see new stuff from the studio here. In sadder news, Airspeed Prime, another Avatar YouTuber, is reporting another delay for the June and Iro comic. This will be the second delay for the graphic novel, which is sort of commonplace with these side comics. Instead of dropping on July 2nd this year, it will debut on August 3rd. Man, Avatar Studios can't seem to hold a winning streak these days, can they? In some happier news, Netflix just dropped some new posters, and man, oh man, they are, how can I say it? Fire. Let's start with Iro, who is being played by Paul Lee. Like always, I don't have any notes. I think he's going to be great in the role. Again, if you haven't watched Kim's Convenience, do yourself a favor and check it out. It'll be a nice preview for what Uncle Iro might be in the Netflix show. The setting of this poster is pretty obvious. For most of Book 1, Uncle Iro and Prince Zuko spend most of their time on their Fire Nation ship as they chase the Avatar. Next up, we have Commander Xiao, who is backdropped by his band of Fire Nation soldiers. Someone once said that he looks like he comes straight out of an old-timey Korean drama, and I gotta say, I agree. In particular, I really like the update of his belt sash. In the original, this was just a regular old gold plate, but the one in the live action has more detail with a Chinese character that represents fire. And with the new reports of Xiao's expanded role in the show, I'm quite looking forward to what they'll do with this character. Next up, we got Azula, and this is the first still image I think that looks just like her. Some of the past images of the character have been less than perfect, but every time we've seen Azula in motion, I've liked it more. But this poster is right on the money for me. My only concern now is, why is Azula backdropped by orange fire? It should be blue. A few of you in the comments have been wondering about this as well, to which I've been replying that of course Azula will have her signature blue fire in the show. But now I'm not so sure. We already know there will be major changes to the show. Maybe she won't have blue fire right away in some new progression system for Azula. But I think this image actually indicates she'll retain the blue. I mean, if we look at the way that she's standing, she's totally getting ready to generate lightning. You can't have Azula lightning without her signature blue. I don't know, only time will tell. And last, but certainly not least, is Ozai. Like always, I have no words, no notes. Ozai is absolutely perfect. I love the additional detail of his belt sash with the dragons in a clash of flames. It perfectly represents the warlike tendencies of the character. Gosh, can Ozai be any more perfect? Can he? Alright, so here's the big story. The major confirmed changes coming to the adaptation. As we know, the live-action series is reimagining the beloved animated show, but with a twist to accommodate the practical challenges of filming such an epic saga. The showrunner, Albert Kim, has his hands full finalizing Season 1, which wrapped filming in British Columbia back in the summer of 2022. With the core cast members visibly aging, Gordon Cormier, our Aang, has grown from 11 to 14, and Kia Winthio, our Katara, from 14 to 17. The creators had to rethink the timeline of the Avatar universe. Unlike the animated series, which unfolds over a single year, this adaptation had to be designed with potential time jumps in mind, allowing for the natural growth of its young actors. Kim has also made a significant narrative change by removing the Sozin's Comet storyline, a ticking clock in the original series, to avoid being tied down by the actors' ages in potential future seasons. And this is huge. This is actually the story. This is the core story of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and this could very well be the reason why the original creators left. That said, this adaptation promises to keep the heart of the original story intact, but that's a huge change. That's a huge change. Now, based on what we got from this article, I don't think this necessarily means that Sozin's Comet will be cut out altogether, although it seems like it's not going to be involved in Book 1 at all. Instead, I believe we're just not going to get an indication of it in the first season, which I think is a mistake. That first mention of Sozin's Comet gave Aang a reason to hurry up and learn all the elements. I agree this will be hard to do in a one-year timeline with the kids growing up so quickly, but I also believe this storyline should remain, just with an extended timeline of 3 years instead of 1. Without Sozin's Comet, I'm interested and a little worried what they'll do to keep the danger present, unless the focus will turn directly to the conflict of the Northern Water Tribe and Commander Xiao coming to take it down, but I'm not sure. And we haven't seen anything from the Northern Water Tribe yet in any of the teasers, trailers, promos, nothing. But there might be another solution, and it might be for the better. There obviously will need to be a time skip to accommodate the aging actors. If they filmed in summer 2022 and won't begin filming again until later this year in 2023, then the show will have to explain the passage of time. I would love to see Team Avatar stick around at the Northern Water Tribe for a few months instead of a few weeks, as it seems to be in the show. That way, it will be more believable that Aang has mastered water, but more so that Katara has mastered water as well. I've always not been a major fan of how quickly the kids progress in the show, but this can offer a solution to that, which could be welcome to me, but I'm still kind of salty about Sozin's comment being cut out entirely. But I want to hear what you all think. Which Avatar news story were you most interested in today? And how about those new Fire Nation posters? Let me know in the comments below, and check out this video on screen if you're a fan of Avatar. I'll catch you on the next one, and as always, peace, love, and remember, be water, my friends.